Cluricon has been kind to you. It is agreeable to see you, Siegebreaker. Cluricon can be inhospitable at times, as the Tuatha have learned. We've made sure of it. So I did. We are the Bitter Frost, the last few remnants of free Winter Fae. We have refused to bend knee to Gadflow or his god. Our numbers are few, but we have fought our kin as best we can. The once noble houses of sorrow, pride, and vengeance have all fallen under Gadflow's sway. Until they're freed, the Tuatha's ranks will continue to swell with the faithful. You can't fight a war on your own. And even if you could, you'd find your path barred by the House of Pride, as well as the House of Vengeance. You need a way to strike at their heart, a way to reach Gadflow himself. And we know how you can get there. Blind him, cut out his tongue, draw the venom from our land. Only then will we be able to begin to strike at Alabastra. The Tuatha have built Prismere chantries across Cluricon. From here, Gadflow rallies the faithful, preaches the word of Tirnoch, and corrupts our land. Destroy these chantries and disrupt Gadflow's ability to infect this land. Without Gadflow to guide them, the Tuatha in Cluricon will be disorganized and scattered. When this is done, we'll take you to Ventrinio. He can help you breach Alabastra. The Tuatha built chantries of Prismere in the heart of Cluricon. From here, Gadflow watches, and his toxic prayers seep into the heart of every Winter Fae. No Fae can withstand their power up close, and no House of the Winter Court can be free until those abominations are destroyed. Go now. Break the tyrant's grip.
Few of the Winter Court. You have reached the House of Sorrows, but...
You have come, as he said you might. Have you found our king, Bizarrain, waiting for you in Cursewood? The Winter Fae need your help, but it is only Bizarrain's place to tell you of our plight. Remember.
Solemn, solemn, hallowed tree, glory to the graveyard be. Far from forests of the west, do the dying have this rest.
So you have come, whether to aid the house or rain punishment on the Tuatha, I do not know. That you are here is enough. To assuage your confusion, I am Bizarrain, king of the house. During your trials, I will observe and communicate to you through this medium. This is about you, of course. You are the only mortal to be given a chance to join the House of Sorrows. But do not think such an offer is given out of honor or respect for you. What drives me to this offer is what brought you here. Necessity. Through the crystal you see before you, it is not magical in and of itself, but a conduit for my own magic. All your actions will be known to me. Every word will be listened to. What you do is of no concern to me. What I hope to evaluate is what you are, to know how you might best help the house. I have locked the way behind you. The way forward is your only path out of these halls. I can tell you no more, other than that I will be watching.
The beast will kill me if you do not help. Beast roam these halls, mortal. Once these lands were quiet, gentle. Now they mean to kill all that tread upon it, even the Winter Fae. My people have lived in peace for decades, centuries. But now we're awash in war and corruption, and we cannot stop it. I do not know. The Midden, it has been sullied. We've never feared such assaults until recently. Wait, what was that? It is here!
So you have completed your first trial. Your actions spoke volumes, but your reactions are just as pertinent. You killed the creature that was chasing that woman. Why? It would be at great fault if I did not know something of you, the mysterious mortal without a fate to call his own. Your lack of fate is intriguing, I will admit. And although it is why I summoned you, it does not represent the whole of your nature. Hence, the need for evaluation. Ahead, you will find a Fae of Sorrows succumbing to poison. I am interested to see what you make of him.
Please, are you the mortal that Bizarrain has brought to aid us? The one he is promised? Thank mercy I have been poisoned. But now that you are here, you can kill me. Please, end my suffering. I do not know. It is some poison. In other times, the Fae would not be vulnerable to this. But we are weaker now. We are prone. I could have walked from this once. But now... Please, mortal. I know it's strange, but the Fae are not like you. Death is different to us. I will rise once more in time, but killing me will let me escape this suffering. I do not know. Everything is blurred. I do not even know where I am. It must have been him. He does whatever he cares with his subordinates. It was Bizarrain. He was meant to save us from the Tuatha, to preserve our oldest traditions, to protect the Winter Fae. You will just let me suffer. Cruel.
So, you spared the sword. I wonder, was it some sense of honor that stayed your blade, or something crueler? I lead a court of Winter Fae who wish to free these lands from the Tuatha, and we have gone too long without new blood. You have demonstrated substantial worth. One trial remains. You have reached this chamber at last. The time of trial is over. No more apparitions, no more questions. The House of Sorrows has always held a precarious position in this world, and now we hold on to it by the tips of our fingers. You think you have broken the Tuatha's grip on Cluracan. You have not. Even now, the Winter Fae and the House of Sorrows are subject to their malice. I am the King of Sorrows. I have held dominion over these halls, over this house, over the Winter Fae who dwell here. But the war upon Cluracan has sapped me of my strength. Should these times continue, I may become nothing. Nothing at all. It is we who permit the Winter Fae to rise above their basic nature, to foster decay and ruin. A nature that normally divides rather than unites. For a time, the House avoided the war that cleaves this land. But now that war is upon us, and we are not ready. I am not one to take anything on faith. If I wish to know an object's worth, I examine it for myself. This trial is designed to demonstrate your mettle. Because there are trials that I can observe from afar, and others that I must see at hand. We have reached the trial that I must be present for, if I am to test you truly. What you need to do and why you must do it are two very different matters, mortal. I deal in instructions, not explanations. Nor could you have fought me if you had chosen to do so. What you see before you is but an apparition. Now that your trial has concluded, come with me. The Tuatha have yet to break down our doors, but I would not put that past them. The house is poised to collapse from the Tuatha's dissension and destruction, and I need one to help us. I know it is not the mortal way to test someone in a manner such as this. The beast, the poison, it was all done out of necessity. I did not need you to understand the trial. I only needed it completed. I do not have time for you to meet the struggles of the house unprepared. Your reactions were real, but the Fae with whom you interacted, Tybri, Kadarok, and myself, were not. They were but apparitions of the Fae you will come to know in this house. As facsimiles, the apparitions were appropriate enough, but I think you will find their real-world counterparts more complex. Then welcome to our ranks, mortal. The Hearthstone I gave you at the start of the trials will now reflect your affinity with us. Come, join me at the House of Sorrows. I will show you a world stranger than you have ever seen. To your kind, it is a celebration of war. But before your mortal corpses were hung there by Tuatha, it was the emblem of our house's duty. The most reverent corpses were placed not in the midden, but hung upon those boughs to show all of nature that we still revere our essence of decay. But like all things in these lands, the tree has been defiled by war. Saturnin took our greatest symbol and turned it to filth. My summer brethren embody the growth and progression of nature. As such, establishing the summer realms came easy to them. But the Winter Fae bear the burden of regression and decay in their essence. Left alone, they would never be able to overcome such a weight. They could never unite. The house's founder, the Weeping King, took on their sorrows and freed them. We carry the burden inherent in the Winter Fae, so they can achieve greatness. The Prince of Sorrows once, but now, no longer. He wages a war against the Tuatha with little support but his own strength. Perhaps that is enough for him, but the only thing he will weaken is the house's morale. The Midden is the cradle in which our race of winter was fostered. It is a place of rot, of decay, a place where the House of Sorrows holds reign. The House of Sorrows made a pact with the Tuatha. They would not interfere with us if we did not interfere with their war with the Alfar. Of course, the Tuatha did not trust us, so they insisted that a new king be appointed to the house, one agreeable to both parties. In the end, I was the one chosen. I was to be king. But in answering that call, I have been labeled a traitor by many within the house. He is the agent of the Tuatha, and though he bears their allegiance, his appearance is that of a winter fae. I am certain of it. I know little of him, but of me and my house, his knowledge is wide and deep. With every action, he reveals that he is merely toying with us. He is not a type of foe I am familiar with, for he does not attack outright. Instead, he instills fear and despair. The Far Kelidae, they call themselves. The Faithful. They take the Fae of Winter and craft them into an army. But they know little of true devotion. If we are to discuss the plight of the house, I will do so at his heart. Come, meet me in the main hall of the House of Sorrows, and we will speak more. Speak. I have a task for you. Of late, there are many in this house who have come to view my authority with disdain. As such, there is need of someone unbiased by our house's history and the traditions therein. Someone such as you. We must move quickly. The Tuatha will not hold their strikes for long. Let us stop their next blow. You fail to understand. Although the Tuatha wage war with us, as they have with the Alfar, they do so by other methods. Our enemies are subtle. They target individuals, not armies. They strike at convictions, not cities. And by doing so, they can retreat to where we cannot find them. For all our years of struggle, we know only this, that our enemy is led by a Tuatha agent, Saturnin. He is the master of this shadowy coup. We cannot right now. He hides himself and covers his tracks well. But I have a lead which you will investigate with one of our delvers, Tybri. A tender, Catarak, has fled the house and killed a fellow member in doing so. I suspect Saturnin's influence, or perhaps that Catarak might be Saturnin himself. Bring Tybri to the body of Catarak's victim. Though dead, the Sorrows will remain on the corpse. The Sorrows can lead us to Catarak. Members of the house may choose one of two paths. The path of the Delver, or the path of the Tender. Delvers are those who commune with the sorrows of the living Fae and the recently deceased. They draw forth these sorrows and assume them. However, most Delvers lost their talent over these last few centuries. But our youngest, Tybri, shows some promise. The Tenders are those sacred few who oversee the decay and decomposition of a winter Fae's body. They also oversee the Midden itself. For like a body, the Midden is a physical thing, a vessel for rot and ruin, that which is required for death to become rebirth. Finally, they once tended to the gallows tree, but that was before the Tuatha perverted it. There is a tender named Catarak who has fled our ranks. He is somehow tied to Saturnin. I am certain of it. I want you to find him and put an end to him. For if he is not Saturnin himself, then he is betraying our secrets to the Tuatha. Speak.
So, there is a mortal after all. Bizarrain has done little in his time as king that has been quite so progressive as welcoming a mortal into our fold. Quiet place once. I used to watch the rooks and crows rest gently upon its boughs, but now the beasts are savage things, glutting themselves on rotten flesh. How fitting, I think, that this place becomes like the bodies we tend, empty, cold, and eventually consisting of nothing. In time, they might be able to perform their roles once again. But what use are delvers that can hear no sorrow? Tensions run high among their ranks. His is the voice that cries out when struck dead. I see only doom for our people, and neither Bizarrain nor Sidon can avert it. It is said that Saturnin is one of us, one of the house. But who? Why would one of us betray us to the Tuatha? I have given up, mortal. It is the way of life to struggle, I think, in the jaws of death. But how can we consider ourselves devout if we struggle? No. Let us lay down our arms, let us lay upon the midden soil and pass on. Be safe.
It seems these days that many flock to the midden, either to jeer at the ruin of the gallows tree, or to bring ruin to this house. Which are you, I wonder? We are a thing of necessity, so I am told. An answer to our brethren, the Summer Fae, and the court they have constructed. Can he hope for victory alone, when the whole of the house fears defeat? I applaud his determination, but I feel it will be his undoing. There are few places in the world that have magic like the Midden does. This is an ancient place, a home of elder things than we Fae. It is a difficult thing, not to know who your opponent is. No one can truly be trusted, not until Saturnin is stopped. I will no longer stomach the delays and insults of Bizarrain. The house must be led to war. If not by him, then by someone else. In days long gone by, we would enter the midden and treat the bodies to ensure that they decayed into the earth that birthed us. But now, we can do nothing. Keep the sorrows.
The Tuatha have sullied our gallows tree.
Mortal, there is something that requires the attention of one of your kind. You have been to the midden, yes? The sacred ground being desecrated by the corpses of your kind? The gallows tree is the silent sentinel of the midden, demonstrating how life grows out of death. It justifies our existence, defines it. It is a symbol not only of the House of Sorrows, but of the Winter Fae. To bear one's corpse upon it was a sacred rite, until the Tuatha defiled it with mortal remains. It is from these halls that we of the House safeguard the oldest traditions of winter. It must be shown due reverence. If there was anyone meant to bear the title King of Sorrows, it was him. Had we not succumbed to the Tuatha's bargaining, he would have been king. Instead, we turned our backs on him. It was a gift of the earth to commemorate the rot and decomposition of the Fae. Then the Tuatha sullied it with the corpses of their prisoners. Mortals do not decay like Fae do. Mortals putrefy and corrupt. The midden and the house now feel this grisly taint. I have nothing more to say about him other than history will know him as the victor. We keep the midden as a monument to the debt we Winter Fae have made with nature. But now the midden is defiled, and we can do our task no longer. The nature of my request is not something the midden needs, but something the midden should do without. The corpses of your brethren have been thrown into the midden as a declaration of hostility by the Tuatha. But they do more than signify a point. Their corruption and rot have drawn an ancient Lianshi Mithgra from slumber. She gluts herself on the bodies and will further corrupt the midden if unchecked. To feed, Lianshi are drawn to death and decay, something Winter Fae embody in spirit, but which mortals embody in flesh. When mortal corpses began appearing in the midden, Mithgra was unable to resist the temptation before her, and now she runs rampant. You cannot hope to solve the problem with a simple application of violence. The Athra is old, and she is wise to obvious attacks on her. Searching will yield no quarry, so you must be cunning. If we cannot find her in the midden, we can force her to return to her den beneath the house. Find fresh corpses, the ones Mithgra prefers to eat, and cremate them. With no food to scavenge, she will return to her den. Then you can kill her. Make haste.
So, you were the mortal. There were whispers that Bizarane had welcomed one of you amongst us. But to pick the siege breaker, I am awed. I forget myself. Bizarane has made his wishes clear, and we must do as he asks. Are you ready to begin? I am Tybri. I have only 2 centuries to my name. I was asked to join the house because of my abilities. I can hear them, the sorrows in people, the essence of decay and ruin that precedes winter. I can even hear the sorrows faintly in you. Few delvers are left who can hear any sorrows at all, but never have any claim to hear them as much as I. Many believe me to be a liar, or an abomination. The Midden was once a sacred place for the House of Sorrows, for all Winter Fae, where the bodies of the dead were left to decompose. Our bodies do not rot as mortal corpses do. So when Saturnin placed the bodies of mortals here, they putrefied, corrupting the Midden. Scavengers and beasts now roam the Midden, and the body we seek is deep within. I must have someone to watch my back. Farewell. body is here. I must begin my work. But the magic is sure to draw the wild fae in the area. Hold them back while I commune with the sorrows. Farewell. It is done. Cadoroc's sorrows left a strong impression on the corpse. He is hiding in the Siren Crypt in the drowned forest. You should go there, but be wary. The impression Cadoroc left on the body was conflicted. Something is not right here. I will return to the house. With the beast beaten back, it should prove safe enough now. It is the emblem of the house. It is the heart of the midden. It is said it has always been here, even during the times of the Weeping King. To be a member of the house is a great honour. Without the House of Sorrows, there would be no Court of Winter, no culture in these lands, only winter. We, are the backbone of the house. Delvers can look into the essence of Winter Fae, find the sorrows within, and take upon that burden. The Weeping King was the first to perform this function. The Delvers witnessed his powers, and imitated as they could. Only now, no Delver has this art, save for me. Before there was a Court of Winter, before there was a House of Sorrows, there was the Midden, a place where Winter Fae would come to die. The bodies left to rot here mark the covenant of the house. Though the Winter Fae may stave off decay to create its courts and culture, they cannot escape it forever. He is the Faithlog Tocht, the choking vine. He reaches from briars dark and unknown to strangle the life from us. The dead do not speak lies. Cadoroc has gone to Siren Crypt in the drowned forest. It was once a mighty fortress, but like all things in this war, it was reduced to ruin. Lesser, cruder beasts and beings walk its halls now. For Cadoroc to hide there, it makes little sense. But from what the Sorrows told me, it seems as though he had nowhere else to go. Farewell.
And they sleep beneath the limbs, while we sing these mourning hymns, as the dead embrace the land in the earth's embalming hand. wooden gravestone standing tall by the sorrow's weary hall. Are the leaves now bearing fruit? Will the dead now follow suit? Are the Alfar nature's meat food the ravens meant to eat? Why do soldiers hang like tears? Why Tuatha covet fears?
Clamoring for our heads. Please, defend us. That Fae is clamoring for our heads.
That Fae is a monster, and no one here can stop it.
My God, won't anyone stop that monster? Suppose I'm the only one that still holds rank around here anymore. My brother Gilman was leading us, but... I hate that damn thing. The Tuatha are using it to lord our own dead over us. I aim to do something about it. We weren't very many, but we were sent by the Alfar Command, ostensibly to make sure the Tuatha didn't have any positions out here. But there was another purpose. We were to try and find a way to give the bodies of our men a proper burial. Cluracan has its dark places, but the Midden, it's hard to even stand here. I don't know how you make it look so easy. But we've been sent here for a reason, and we'll stay until we see it through. Goodbye.
That Fae is clamoring for our heads.
Many tidings, mortal. I am a tender of this house. What is it you require? We are the penitent ones who oversee the rotting of the world. Your kind reviles us, but without our aspects of nature, nothing would ever flourish. Though he has done well to stand against the Tuatha, he has done so by embracing their warlike methods. When the world was young, it was from the Midden that we were born, and that all things came to die. I cannot venture into the Midden. Not any longer. There are beasts both ravenous and cruel, and sights loathsome to behold. It scares me. I thought the Tuatha were capable only of barbarity, only of outright vengeance. Instead, we are told that the Tuatha have unleashed on us a beast of cunning, of sly vindictiveness, and it cannot be stopped. We lack the subtle senses of our delving brethren. Nonetheless, we are as faithful to the Midden and the Weeping King's tradition as they are. Sorrows go with you.
And so you come. The least powerful of us in some regards, the most powerful in many others. I am Rorid, mortal, one of the tenders of the Midden. Nothing good remains for us. Too much has already been lost in this struggle with the Tuatha. There are those that flee the house, as a crow fleeing a coming storm, but Sidon is more than that. He seeks to free us from the Tuatha. There is little that can be done for this place now. The Tuatha have sullied our ancestral cradle with the bodies of mortals. It may be changed forever. I have always lived my life here in this house. What will become of me when it is gone? Are our fates bound, or will they be undone? We were hurt the most by the befouling of the Midden. Of those that bay for the Tuatha's blood, none do so louder than the tenders. Be wary.
It seems there were more to the rumors of Bizarrane's pet mortal than I gave credit. I am Matea, Lore Keeper of the House. I hold the lore of the house in my being. It is a responsibility that I alone can bear. As such, I am neither Delver nor Tender. There has always been a House of Sorrows, it seems. Not long after the birth of the Winter Fae came the Weeping King, and with him, the House. Delvers are not chosen. Though many wish to follow in the steps of the Weeping King, few have his gift. Those that do, then, are compelled to serve as he did. Though he fights in the name of our people, I cannot help but feel abandoned by him. I only hope this war does not consume him. Once a gentle place where the bodies of the Winter Fae were returned to the earth, the Midden is now a mire of filth, of putrid mortal death. Be careful when within. There is no precedent for a foe like this. Even in the ancient wars, no Fae ever acted in a manner such as Saturnin. I am at a loss to know what we must do to stop him. I do not believe it is a victory we can achieve. Delvers see to the sorrows of a Fae, but Tenders see to his flesh. When a Fae dies, Tenders take the body to the Midden and see it safely into rot. Until next time.
And you have come to Drozer. I know of your kind, mortal. I have seen what you have to offer. War, destruction, calamity. You are better off leaving us be. Once, the bodies of our most faithful members were hung upon the tree. But now, the Tuatha have decorated it with the butchered corpses of mortals. Blasphemy! We are the foundation upon which all Winter Fae rely. By attacking us, the Tuatha have turned their back on their own kin once and for all. What do you wish to know of me, mortal? What of a Fae could you hope to understand? I will not deign to explain my life to you. The art of the Delvers has been passed on since the Weeping King first walked this midden. That it is now lost, it must be some Tuatha witchery. He will always be a prince of the house, even though we have parted ways. We wish him well. I have seen the Tuatha as they fell upon the houses of pride and of vengeance
It was horrible and maddening. But never have I seen a Tuatha draw out a battle such as this. Never have I seen one enjoy such malice. Be careful.
The Siegebreaker walks here. Good. Now perhaps the Tuatha will have cause to fear us. I am Heisener, one of the Delvers. There's little that can be said of it. The tree is the oldest in these lands. Like we Winter Fae, it thrives off decay. The Winter Fae look to us to appease the decay in Winter's heart. Through our efforts, all of Winter Fae are able to transcend their nature. Once they could look into a Fae and take the burden of winter from their heart. But now, the Delvers are deaf to the sorrows. All, it seems, but one. Sidon the Outcast. Nothing is truly solitary in nature, but Sidon walks a lonelier path than most. I wish him well. I never thought to know a menace I could not see or hear or strike. And yet the Tuatha have furnished us with one. For too long have I been within this house, unable to help my brethren. I wish to walk the woods again. I wish to delve again. Farewell.
Who calls? I remember when these lands were quiet. When this house was a place of faith and reason. Now, this war has led us all to madness. Keep the sorrows.
What is needed?
The mortal. This house is full more of portents than of sorrow these days. Your arrival must truly be a telling of how dark these times have grown. The tree is ever quiet, but sometimes you can hear it groan under the weight of the indignities it now bears. Saturnin has gone too far with his latest assault. I've seen this house in strong winters and weak ones, but I never pledged my being to a beast as winded and laboring as the house is now. We were greater once. We had tenders and delvers throughout these lands, not individuals huddled in worry over Saturnin and the Tuatha. Though delvers have heard sorrows in the past, there have, of late, been none that can perform the art. The spirit of the house is flagging, it seems. The outcast? What more is there to speak than to say that he abandoned the traditions of this house out of lust for war and reprisal? Perhaps his motives are just. But nature cares little for what one does in the name of justice. Only what one does in the name of survival. The beast will be caught, for until now he has not tasted the strength of winter. He will pay for his crimes against us. Beware of Saturnin.
Greetings, mortal. I am a tender of the Midden. I have been instructed to offer you what insight I can give about the art of dispelling. I have always felt magic's call, but in the Midden, the call is strongest. It allows me to see charms and spells and undo them. This I teach to all who listen. Once, we lived in the wilds of the Midden, but as the place became defiled, we had to take refuge in these old halls for fear of the beasts outside, and of Saturnin. Though we are targeted by Tuatha, Sidon is the only one who wages open war against them. For good or ill, I do not know. Be warned, mortal. The Midden is no longer what it once was. It is a place of beasts and dark, putrid magic, unsafe to all who enter. If there is nothing else we can do, if we cannot bring a lasting peace for our house, then at least let us bring an end to Saturnin. In many ways, we are the keepers of the house in flesh, as the delvers are the keepers of the house in spirit. We embody the corporeal. Remember.
Who calls?
Greetings.
And so another mortal approaches, even as this one's blood has yet to dry. But my desire to extinguish mortal life has yet to be satiated. Come, you seem a warrior. Why not fight me? Excellent. I hope you provide more of a challenge than this pathetic wretch did. Enough of this farce. I have fought more than enough mortals on your terms, on your ground. Let us see if you are as powerful in my domain. We will finish this fight in my hollow, Tyne Hill. The magics of the Midden run strong in that place. I will be unbeatable!
You did it! What no one else has done. You actually bested that monster. It is much to ask, but none in our camp have been able to stand against him. You must answer his challenge. Fight him again. Kill him, for the sake of our mission. We don't know. He's not Tuatha, but he damn near fights like one. He's been coming here, dueling us one by one. There's some sick point he means to prove by gutting us. And those he doesn't kill outright are dragged back into the Midden with him. Please, we're scouts, not seasoned fighters. We can't complete our mission if this headsman continues picking us off. Thank the gods. If he called you to Tyne Hill, then that means you'll have to fight him there. But be warned, this Fae uses magics we haven't seen before. It's like he's feeding on the energies of this place. Or worse, there are those that fall to the headsman, but then there are others, prisoners. What he does with them in Tyne Hill, no one knows. Find the headsman. Finish him.
With praise be to Mitharu, and may his blessing be upon you for visiting this humble camp. I am Krieger, a humble cleric of Mitharu. I have accompanied these noble Alpha in peace, and I would make use of you in my mission if you are willing. A grotesque monument. That the Fae worship trees is barbarous enough, but does this House of Sorrows find it so saintly to treat bodies so? I'm a humble servant of Mitharu. My abbot asked me to refrain from coming here, but I knew someone had to bring faith to those who suffer. I thought to count the dead, so the history might know the enormity of the bloodshed. But even that has escaped me. Truly, the army is stressing at the seams, but they have enough decency to try and give these poor souls a burial rite. How noble of them. A horrid place. This is the holy ground of these winter Fae? This is the form their worship takes? This is nothing but a celebration of death and dismemberment. Mitharu take me, but the Alpha should not stop at just the Tuatha, it seems. The world needs to know how many of Mitharu's children gave their lives to fighting these heathen Tuatha. You will find an earring upon each soldier who has been slain. Bring the earrings to me, and I will be able to tally the dead. I'm glad to have your help. The soldiers, their bodies are strewn throughout the midden. Every one has made the ultimate sacrifice in service. Collect the earrings from them, and I will give you what I can. Thank you for this, Wanderer. The world must know. Go with the gods.
Please, wait a moment. You are not part of the army, are you? What are you doing here? No matter. We are injured here and need someone fit enough to venture into the midden to recover some important reconnaissance. Somewhere in this mess of bodies is the corpse of my former scout, Venris. He was carrying the information when the Tuatha caught him. The thing is not cursed, but it is eerie seeing it looming over us the way it does. I cannot wait to get out from under its shadow. Nearly got gutted trying to scout out the Tuatha after you carried the day in Melsen Shear. So Command sent me here for an easy job. It is clear they never stepped foot in this place. Be careful, or you will end up like me, or worse. Even if you knew what Venris looked like, it would not make finding him amongst all these bodies any easier. The wolf knows Venris's scent. He can track it through the midden and lead you directly to the body. Very well. I'll release the wolf now. Follow him and make sure nothing happens to him before he finds Venris. Without him, we have no means of singling Venris's body out from all of the others. It was Venris's pet, and also his friend. They often went on scouting missions together. The two were inseparable. We have a special assignment, to undo the damage to morale here, and to give these bodies a proper burial. This place is foul. The Fae act as though it was once a place of great significance, but all this death, is this truly what they marvel? Please, hurry! Hanging, hanging gallows tree, spreading baleful tyranny, ruined terror of the war, hallowed ground for nevermore.
The jester of the King of Winter, the fool who made a mockery of life, of everything, languished in a discontent. He heard the whisperings of power, felt its pulse. He saw visions of an endless winter, of a totality of nothingness. He was Gadflow, and he would follow the cycle no longer. I have waited for you, mortal. It is not the nature of my kind to anticipate. And yet here I am, with these emotions thrust upon me. I have only just awoken in this plane, and yet I find change, chaos running rampant. Who are these Tuatha? What has happened to our midden? The Winter Realm is racked by war, my people's magic in decline, and mortals scurry over my homeland. A travesty that I must right, one mortal at a time. There is an order to all things. Summer to winter, growth to rot. So it was when I last walked these lands. What has happened while I slept is an affront to nature. The Fae declining while you mortals wage open war with them? Impossible. The Winter Court is sundered. If these Tuatha care not for the natural order, then I shall restore it. Come deeper into Tyne Hill and witness the strength of winter. And so you arrive. That you made it all the way to this chamber unscathed is just another reason why you must be killed. Or perhaps I won't kill you outright. The strongest I keep on the edge of life, to use their energies to sustain this place, to rebalance the scales. The world has changed, mortal. You have heard it said before. I am certain, but you can never sense it as I can. The long winter was birthed by my fallen kind, and though it may one day be reversed, it will never be undone. The cycle has already begun its fracture. I only hope there will be a time for healing, and that when I rise again, I shall be reborn to it. Goodbye, mortal. What is it? I have felt the energies of Mithra fade to Ashara, mortal. I am glad that this business is concluded. At least the Midden will not be in danger of corruption any more than it already is. I thank you for your part in keeping it so. As payment, take this bauble. I discovered it on a body on one of your kind. May it be useful to you in your travels. Yes, yes.
Thank the gods you were able to recover the reconnaissance the Venris carried. This information would have proved disastrous in the wrong hands. When the Tuatha tossed Venris in here, I feared all might have been lost. But thanks to you and his wolf, the armies will not suffer the same fate as Venris. Take this. It is not much, but it is what we can offer, along with our thanks. Thank you for recovering this information. It is not much, but we need to make sure we stay away from the Tuatha's movements. All information helps. Farewell.
It is over then. The headsmen will bother our encampment no more. I hate this place. That it might drive a soul to think butchering us was some kind of justice, and what he did to those prisoners. But it's over now. We don't have much to offer, or rather, much to spare. But please, accept whatever reward we can give you. Many thanks, stranger. Goodbye.
Hello once more, Wanderer. Have you had any luck in recovering earrings from the bodies of our soldiers? Very well. Let me pay you for your services. If you find you have time to look for more, I can always make use of your assistance. Mitharo thanks you. Go with the gods.
Journal? Let me see. This book looks like it might belong to the man who saved my life. He speaks of a brother in a place called the Icebrine Coast. Perhaps when the war is over, I will travel there and tell this man how his brother died. Thank you, champion. This book has brought me some small measure of peace.
So 2 are dead, and Herc still lives. That is good news, at the least. Though I'll need to have words with him about refusing to check in when he was supposed to. Still, I owe you much. Take this gold in gratitude. Perhaps in the coming days we can work together again. Later then.